What is good, gang? Welcome back to my channel and my podcast. Yesterday, we had our live event over on Discord. So if you joined me, you know it was the vibe. You just had to be there in the moment. And we will have more of those next year. So make sure you join the free Discord group down in the description box below. But let's get into today's video. I feel like this video is definitely going to be one to listen to because it is dealing with specific people. And I know a lot of you guys want to learn how to manifest your specific person. And there's often this time when you're manifesting someone back into your reality or manifesting that the relationship be the way that you prefer. And you're wondering why your SP is not conforming. And this could be SPs as far as many of people, but we had a member on our Discord that was very vulnerable with her situation yesterday, and we had a discussion in the group. But I want to really thank her because she said that I could use her story for a teaching moment. And so I really want you guys to pay attention because this is something that we all do. And this is exactly the things that I've been talking about in my last few videos. So, for a little bit of backstory, she said that she's currently experiencing some undesirable circumstances with specific person, which are disagreements, and he actually told her to go home twice. There's a lot of frustration, stubbornness, and mentions of past issues. And she's been reactive the past few months because of his habits and his behaviors that she doesn't prefer, and she feels that they are detrimental to him. And she also is aware that she is the cause because of her own acceptance of unfavorable stories and self concept. So, one of her responses was so layered, and I really wanted to use her response to discuss some of the things in this video about why your specific person is not conforming. And so, I really want you to listen with me. And yeah, you guys, it was just really an amazing discussion that we had. But her response was, I want to be able to forgive the perceived past and for us not to be petty with what happened. I think that I'm subconsciously waiting for him to be different and letting my mood and joy be dependent on how he treats me and if he does things right. I feel putting distance between us can only cause more pain sometimes because we both tend to bottle up how we feel and try to deal with emotions on our own, which we have been working to be more open and immediate with how we feel and not push each other away. I think it's also because I know he's done many good things. He's a good person. We're good together, and the love is there without question. It's more that sometimes I feel resentment that he doesn't act or speak in the greater ideal way that I've been intending. That most ideal version is us talking and spending more time together, knowing that I'm his first and most priority. And lately, there's been talk of space and independence, which discourages me to reach out sometimes. We enjoy each other's presence a lot, and it's like a great friendship, which is why I always want to spend time with him. And with those conversations, a part of me thinks, if we enjoy our time together, why would you want more space or choose to spend it alone or with someone else sometimes? Now, this response was really what prompted me to do this video. And when I read this is what I see a lot of clients and a lot of people do. This is what I mean about stories, you guys, because what can I or anybody say to that? What can anybody say to convince you otherwise? Because you've already decided with all that she decided, no matter what I said previously or what I would say after, you've already decided what all of this means. You've decided the story. You've conditioned this story out. You've decided what the problem is. You've added story with so much reasoning and context. So, how could anyone oppose this story? Remember, you guys, like I said in A Course in Miracles, it says, my thoughts are images that I have made. There is a lot of I think and I feel in her story. So when you do that, you are creating the story and you're always right. So you have to ask yourself, you guys, this is what inquiry means when you inquire. How do you know that this is true? How do you know that everything that you were saying is true? Everything you think and feel is your best guess according to who you believe you are. And this has nothing to do with your specific person. And the truth is always in your story. So I'm going to point it out. So she says, I think that I'm subconsciously waiting for him to be different and letting my mood and joy be dependent on him and how he treats me. I feel putting distance between us can only cause more pain. And how do you know that's true? How do you know that's true? And then she says, it's more that sometimes I feel resentment that he doesn't act or speak in the greater ideal way that I've been intending. But let's talk about it again. Let's really go through this again, you guys, because the truth is here, because this is not about SP. I think that I'm subconsciously waiting for him to be different and letting my mood and joy be dependent on him. Okay? But why is that? Because I feel like putting distance between us can only cause more pain. But for who? For who? For you. You feel putting more space and distance is going to cause you pain, not anything to do with SP. And why is that? Again, it's more that sometimes I feel resentment that he doesn't act or speak in the greater ideal way that I've been intending. That most ideal version is us talking and spending more time together, knowing that I'm his first priority. But what are you really saying? It's more that sometimes I feel resentment that I don't act or speak in the greater ideal way that I've been intending. That most ideal version for me to be my first priority. That's the truth. That is the truth. That you are the one not conforming to who you desire to be. And you're waiting for SP to be different in order for you to feel your ideal instead of you claiming and conforming to your ideal. So his habits and behaviors and all the things that you desire to change, there's nothing wrong with that. In his world, he may feel like he doesn't have a habit or whatever, but these are the stories that you are creating. You are conditioning. You are making this story up. You don't know if any of what you're saying is actually true because it's I think or I feel based on who you've decided that you are, not because of what SP is doing. So you're not speaking, you have resentment because you are not acting or speaking and being who you desire to be. So it's never anything about your specific person, you guys. You're not telling your ideal story about you, and you're wanting and desiring SP or whatever situation to be a certain way in order for you to feel that you are who you desire to be or to show you that you are who you desire to be. But how could SP or any situation or anybody conform to how you prefer them to be if you are not being that way for yourself? If you are not claiming that for yourself, if you do not see yourself as the first priority, if you do not see yourself as worthy, if you don't see it, then of course you're going to make up stories that someone else needs to do something or someone else needs to be different in order for you to be or feel that way. And this is when you are constantly looking at the 3D to show you something, right? And so in the end, she said, I'm doing my best to continue to choose joy, fun, and harmony for our relationship. I'm intending and making an effort to be more forgiving of him and allowing my being to get out of lack, the lack that caused the circumstance. I'm doing my best to actively choose the version of him and us I prefer. I know that love is the solution, and I want to choose it above anything else for us and for me. Now, Listen to this, you guys. Forgiveness is not about forgiving him. It's not about forgiving any person in your reality. Forgiveness is about forgiving yourself for believing lack into your reality, into your life, for feeling that you were separate from your true nature. And love is the solution because love won't allow you to stay in a story of lack. Remember, you guys, there is only one story playing out right now. So you can't be aware of actively choosing the ideal that you prefer while also believing that the undesired story is still here. It's still in effect, that you have to wait around for it to change, that you have to make yourself comfortable while being in it and trying to manifest your way out. Because this is what I mean about stories, adding all this story, stringing continuity together, making things have all this meaning. You've created all of this story and you've hidden yourself inside this story and said, okay, something is wrong. I need to figure out how to manifest my way out of this story, instead of telling the ideal story of yourself that you prefer, instead of claiming that you are already it. So, how else can any of this story change if you are not being who you desire to be? So you're not conforming. So you, SP, and everybody in your reality cannot conform until you conform to your ideal, until you realize that this is all coming from you. And so everything that you think and you feel will play out if this is what you believe and feel is happening. And no one can deny you. No one can deny you. You've already decided what it means. And so this is what I mean about stories, context, all of this making meaning, because you're using your best guess off of who you believe you are. Anytime you make up a story, it's based off of your best guess of who you are being. All right. So I want you to understand it's never about any circumstance, anybody else outside of you. It is always about you and who you are being, you guys, who you are deciding to be, and the story that you are telling about yourself. Okay. So if you are really saying that you have resentment for you, that means that you have to move. You have to make the movement within the mind of the all to being who you prefer in order to see that reflected from SP. And who's to say that space means that he's going to go spend it with someone else? You're deciding that. You could also make it mean that space is going to be the thing that brings you guys together. It's all what you decide. You're the only one deciding your fate. You're the only one deciding your story. You're the only one deciding the events of what's happening. All right. So, you guys, I just wanted to share this with you. And I thank you guys for being here with me. And I really hope that this pulled it together for you, because remember, you guys, your thoughts are images that you have made. So when you say, I think or I feel something, no matter what you are saying, you think or feel, you are creating an imaginal act. A picture is going to form around that. And if you believe it into your reality, it has no choice but to be so. But you have to inquire and ask, how do I know that any of this is true? How do I know what I'm saying, what I'm thinking and feeling right now is the truth? It is the truth for you, but for them in their reality, what the events that's going on is going to mean whatever it means for their self concept. So you're making your best guess off of who you are always. And the real truth is always in the stories that you tell. You're always telling who you think you are or who you believe or what you believe about you in any story. When you're trying to project it onto someone else, it's always going to mirror back to you what you are feeling and thinking about you. All right. So, I love you guys. I love you guys. I really hope that this brought it together for you. It's never about anyone else. The relationship with your specific person or anyone is always going to be a reflection of, or an expression, I should say, of who you are, the love that you have for yourself, you putting yourself as your first priority. Of course, everybody's going to put you as, their first priority if you show that for you, if you're being that for you, if you're holding the space for you. Of course, everybody has no choice but to reflect back to you who you are being. All right. So, again, you guys, I love you. if you need a phone or email session with me to discuss your situation for you a little bit deeper, go to the description box below. Thank you so much to everyone who came to the event yesterday. And yeah, you guys, imagination, what you think you feel is on your side, and I am too. Bye.